And come close. There is something I'd like us to talk about. You must have noticed there are many burning issues in the society today. Think of the involvement of over 60% of our youth in Yahoo business, violent acts against human life in form of kidnapping, organ harvesting, human trafficking, assassination, domestic violence, road accidents, mental derangement and aggressive behaviors, and increasing prison population. Behind these big issues, there is an underrated green snake in green grass, and that is the issue of the use of illicit drugs. The impetus for criminality and acts of violence comes mostly from the use of drugs. This presentation I'm about to make now is aimed at exposing this fundamental cause of these degrees of decays in our present day society. Every youth, every parent, religious and secular leaders, educationists need to pay attention to this, and all hands must be on deck to combat these societal issues from the root. For a clearer understanding of the incubator of these societal ills, I will take my explanations bit by bit. I will start by explaining what drugs are and how drugs are classified. What is a drug? A drug is any substance apart from food which has the power to affect the psychology, mental, and physical conditions of the human body when taken. It is any substance that is capable of affecting a person's thinking, behavior, and his bodily activities. Drugs could either give stress or relief to the body. That is to say, that drugs can affect the human body either positively or negatively. Drugs are generally classified into licit and illicit drugs. Licit drugs are drugs that are administered into the human body to cure sicknesses and diseases. They are commonly prescribed by doctors and medical personnel. They are taken following specific instructions so that they will not be harmful to the body. These drugs are openly sold and bought in the pharmacist and chemist shops. Illicit drugs are drugs that are classified as psychotropic and narcotic substances. They are drugs that have habit forming properties. They have the ability to alter or change moods, behavior, or affect the thought process of the users in diverse or negative ways. They have the power to enslave or captivate the users until they become addicts and finally depend on the drugs for the rest of their lives. To this effect, these drugs are not allowed to be used freely. Nations of the world, to control the use of illicit drugs, put laws in place to make sure that the production, the distribution, and use of illicit drugs are put under control. In the first place, the United Nations Conventions on Narcotic Drugs put a law in 1961. The United Nations Convention on Narcotics and Psychotropic Substances enacted a law in 1971. National Drug Law Enforcement Agents, NDLA, put up an act against use of illicit drugs in 1989 for Nigerians.